There aren't many airports where you can land next to the factory building 737s, watch seaplanes operating just off the runway, and have Seattle only a few miles away.
That view is spectacular.
November 2 Kilo Mike, turn left heading 040.
Left 040, 2 Kilo Mike.
Out of all the places we've flown, the Pacific Northwest is easily one of our favorites. The last time we visited, Renton became our home base, and it's hard not to imagine what it would be like to call a place like this home. Of course, we know the winters paint a very different picture, more on that later, but for now, Washington seems to welcome us back the best way it knows how, with spectacular views in every direction.
November 2 Kilo Mike, what is your first approach request, Arlington?
2 Kilo Mike would like to do the RNAV 3 forward for me.
Roger. November 2 Niner Lima, radar serves a terminate, change supervisor approved, I'll talk to the mist.
Seattle has a reputation for being rainy all the time, but that's only part of the story. What surprises many visitors is that it doesn't actually receive as much annual rainfall as cities like New York, Houston, or even Miami. Instead, the Pacific Northwest is known for long stretches of light drizzle, overcast skies, and mist that can linger for days.
November 3 Niner Hotel, contact Renton Tower.
Over to Renton Tower, thanks for the help. 3 Niner Hotel. Renton Tower, Aero 1 Niner, 3 Niner Hotel. Straight in on the visual for 16 and with X-ray.
Number 1939 Hotel, Renton Tower. Confirm you're on the visual.
Confirming the visual, 39 Hotel.
39 Hotel, roger. Continue approach.
Continue approach, 39 Hotel.
As a matter of fact, on our last visit, we spoke to a cashier at the hotel store, and she explained it perfectly. It's not that it rains all the time, it's just that it's always wet. Visit during the summer though, and you'll likely find warm, sunny days with some of the most comfortable weather anywhere in the country. It's one of those places that quickly changes your perspective once you've experienced it for yourself. But to be clear, yes, in the winter, it still is a challenge to fly, as we found out talking to local pilots, especially if you're not IFR rated.
Number 39 Hotel, your number 3 phone says extended left base, running 16, clear to land. Where are you parking?
Parking at the FBO, 39 Hotel.
Number 39 Hotel, roger. Number 3, running 16, clear to land.
Number 3, 16 clear to land, 39 Hotel.
And speaking of IFR, today's visit was in the middle of summer and there was still an overcast layer that just began breaking upon our arrival. So we prepared and asked for a pop-up IFR since initially the forecast showed clear skies. This definitely set us up for the scenic route since we'd be vectored north of SeaTac on our southbound arrival to Renton Airport, making it one of my personal favorite arrival footages we've ever filmed.
Renton Tower, stationary 9217 Romeo, holding short runway 16 Alpha 1, ready for Lake Young's departure. Oh, excuse me, Victoria departure.
Station 9217 Romeo, Renton Tower, hold short runway 16 to 2 arrivals.
Holding short 17 Romeo.
Ongoing construction at Renton was creating a little extra work for everyone, but tower controllers were patient, friendly, and kept things moving. With the major taxiway on the west side closed, departing traffic on runway 16 had to back taxi on the runway. Fortunately, this would be the only time we'd use runway 16. For the rest of our stay, the winds favored runway 34, keeping us clear of most of the construction.
Underway 126, Tango Sierra, Renton Ground, runway 16, taxi via Alpha. Alpha 3, hold short runway 16, Alpha 3, and switch tower.
And tower, medevac 6 Tango Sierra is approaching, hold short Alpha 3 for 16 departure, ready for departure.
126 Tango Sierra, there, hold short runway 16 at Alpha 3, waiting out for release.
Hold short runway 16 Alpha 3, 6 Tango Sierra.
Renton's aviation history stretches all the way back to the 1920s when this was little more than a short grass strip known as Bryn Mawr Airport. By 1935, it had already earned a place in aviation history when Will Rogers and Wiley Post departed from here during what would become their final journey to Alaska. Post was one of the most famous aviators of his era and the first person to fly solo around the world, while Rogers was one of America's best known entertainers.
Stationer 17 Romeo, traffic, Cherokee to my final runway 16, clear for takeoff, Victoria.
Clear for takeoff, runway 16, Victoria departure, stationary 17 Romeo.
Red Tower 374 Mike Alpha, requesting full stop.
Is it 4 Mike Alpha, roger.
Tower, Cessna 90161, Charlotte, Lake Young's 2500 Berkshire area on the north, correction, on the east side of 405 northbound.
Cessna 9161 Charlie, Renton Tower, speed C northbound from there, transition approved, altimeter 3003.
303, thank you, 61 Charlie.
Now I have to admit something, and I'm a little ashamed that I didn't understand how important Wiley Post was to aviation. So let me share a few quick facts. He was one of the first people to ever use autopilot, since it was in final stages of its development. And he was so curious about high altitude long distance flying that he worked with a mechanical engineer from the B.F. Goodrich Company, yeah, the tire company, to develop the world's first practical pressure suit. And he would eventually end up flying as high as 50,000 feet, and that's where he discovered the jet stream. So if you ever wondered how we got to a point where we can have aircraft flying at 35,000 feet completely pressurized, like these 737s that get built right here, well, we can thank Wiley Post for that.
Air Sky 603, extend down a cargo base.
Extending downwind, you'll call my base, Ranger Sky 603.
Renton Towers, that's 704, Romeo Yankee, holding short of runway 16.
704 Yankee, Renton Tower, hold short, runway 16.
Hold short, runway 16, 704, Romeo Yankee.
Says 80847, Renton ground, say again.
Both gentlemen departed from Renton Airport in 1935 on a trip to Russia. Tragically, they were killed in that trip when their aircraft crashed near Point Barrow, Alaska. But their connection to Renton still lives on today through the Will Rogers Wiley Post Memorial Seaplane base on Lake Washington, making this an especially unique airport where seaplane operations sit right alongside a traditional paved runway.
Renton Tower, Skyhawk 9er.
Air Sky 603, base on approved, runway 16, clear, touch and go. Air Sky 603, base turns approved, runway 16, clear, touch and go.
Base approved, clear touch and go, runway 16, Ranger Sky 603.
Number 39 Hotel, turn right Alpha 4, taxi to FBO via Alpha Mark ground point 6.
All right, over to Alpha 4 and then via Alpha to the FBO, 39 Hotel.
And number 17 Romeo, level off there, traffic above you, northbound, says on 2,500. Number 17 Romeo, maintain visual separation. Number 61 Charlie, where are you looking to go towards? Number 61 Charlie, roger. There's a 4 Mike Alpha, number 2, runway 16, clear to land. Attack 126 Tango Sierra, continue holding short runway 16 at Alpha 3, waiting for 1 up Boeing.
Now, it's impossible to talk Renton history without talking about Boeing. World War II transformed the field when Boeing established a major manufacturing operation next door, first building the enormous XPBB-1 Sea Ranger flying boat for the Navy, and later producing more than 1,100 B-29 Super Fortresses. After the war, Renton remained deeply connected to Boeing's future. The company's 367-80 helped pave the way for the jet age. The first Boeing 727 flew from Renton in 1963, and the airport later became synonymous with the 737 program. Because many of you are very perceptive, this is not our first day, but we have landed here at Renton behind us. Well, I think you're seeing it. Behind us, you got, I'm gonna say this number and you guys gonna be like, that's not what that is. I'm gonna think it's a 737.
I have no idea, so I'm not even gonna guess.
I'm horrible at commercial airliners, so excuse me for that. But we are in Renton where there is a Boeing factory on the field. And I love this airport. What are we gonna do? We don't really know. Again, this was all last minute, so we're just gonna go and you guys are gonna come along and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So you ready to go?
Let's go.
All right, let's go. Vesper is the only FBO here at Renton, and we've actually used them before. Inside, it's modern and comfortable with plenty of seating, snacks, and drinks, and everything you need to get settled before heading out. They can also arrange a rental car for your stay, which would typically be waiting plainside when you arrive. And with Hannah parked and keys in hand, there's one place we always look forward to coming back to. Just a few minutes from the airport is the Hyatt Regency Lake Washington, and this has become our favorite place to stay when we fly into Renton. The hotel sits right on the edge of Lake Washington with restaurants, a spa, plenty of places to relax along the waterfront, and even a floating pickleball court. But as nice as all that is, none of it is actually the reason we keep coming back. This is the only room hotel that I don't turn on the TV. And I'll show you guys why. And this is a nice TV. That's the crazy part of it. It's nice, it comes, I remember it like turned, obviously I know this room, but this is why. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is why. This is part one of why this room's amazing. Because out there is Boeing Field, back there is SeaTac, and obviously we're right here. Renton's like, I can see the runway from here. Here's what it is. Here's what
They've already gotten a glimpse.
Always got a glimpse in. This is all Irene. I don't know how she found this place, but you guys know her. She always finds something. This is the other reason why. Boom! That is a Boeing factory. One of many up here in the Seattle area. And the last time we came, they were on strike. So everything was like, nobody was working. And we couldn't do the Payne factory tour. That got shut down. And there was nothing going on out here, but today there is. You can see Seattle right there in the distance. Later that evening, we grabbed dinner downstairs with another incredible view of the lake. But there's still one more reason we weren't quite ready to turn in for the night. Once the sun goes down, the views get even better. From the room, you can actually watch Boeing moving aircraft around the factory, which for us is better than anything we could have put on that TV. And that Seattle skyline we've been looking at from across the lake, it's only about a 30-minute drive from Renton. So this morning, we're heading into the city, but we're starting somewhere a little different. Instead of heading straight downtown, our first stop was just across Lake Union, at a place you probably wouldn't expect to find in the middle of Seattle, Gasworks Park. So we are, what is this called?
Gasworks.
They know the drill. They know I'm never going to remember. All right, so this is Gasworks Park. Now, what's really cool about this park, Irene showed it to me earlier in the day, because this was the park you went to come the last time we came like 2 years ago, right?
Yes.
And it's that back there, which is actually really cool. What is it?
Between 1906 and 1956, this was a coal gasification plant. Apparently it shut down, I think sometime in the 60s, the city took it over. There was a landscape architect that came in, decided to make it into a park, which it finally opened to the public in 1975. And it's been here ever since. But what's really cool about this is not only did they preserve the original equipment that was here, they made a playground out of some of the equipment that's down the hill from here.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But that view is spectacular.
We're going to show you the view. Look at this view.
Yeah.
Boom.
Look at how close the Space Needle looks.
That looks crazy.
And the amount of people that are in the water.
Yeah, look at all the boats. So this is really cool. Like, I didn't even know this thing existed. It's really cool that they like kept it.
I think so too.
So you don't see that a lot.
You don't.
We're gonna go explore what's around it. The I guess the old, what is it? Old refinery?
Old gas plant?
Old gas plant? Yeah, old gas plant.
Yeah.
All right.
It's really cool. It's painted really well, but there's all these do not climb signs all over the place.
Yeah, that's not.
It
Nobody's following that.
Makes me really want to climb it.
And while we were driving through the city, we spotted one last thing we definitely weren't expecting to find. A Boeing 747 that ironically made its last 1,000-mile journey on a truck bed from Victorville, California, to its new permanent home in Seattle between two skyscrapers. We are leaving Washington, we're leaving Renton, but what we can say is, man, there's some beautiful areas here.
Oh yeah.
This is a cool airport. Again, it's just being around this, the Boeing Energy is really cool. We're heading back south home, and it's gonna be a hot one today.
It is.
Wish us luck. Anyways, you ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, guys, well, we'll see you guys on the next one. See you guys.
Renton ground, Aero 1939er Hotel at Vesper Aviation, ready to taxi with whiskey.
Aero 1939 Hotel, Renton ground, what is your departure intentions?
We're going to do a straight out departure towards the north, 39er Hotel.
Renton 39 Hotel, roger, runway 34, taxi via Alpha Information Whiskey, expect the east channel departure.
Between the views, the flying Seattle just down the road, and having Boeing practically outside our hotel window, Renton reminded us all over again why we chose to come back. It's one of those places where the airport is only the beginning, and every day seems to give us another reason to explore. If you're thinking about flying into Renton yourself though, one thing we definitely learned from our first visit is to call the FBO ahead of time and reserve a parking spot. Space here is extremely limited. On our last trip, we actually watched another pilot pull onto the ramp only to have the marshaller tell them there simply wasn't any room. Fortunately, they now have some additional GA overflow parking on the south side of Tower. Only catch is that getting to and from that area requires a pickup or drop off from the FBO. And we also had to keep the FBO hours in mind. They close at 7 p.m. with the last feeler there until 9 p.m., which is also when the tower closes. Since we were using Renton as our home base, we just made sure to be back from our daily trips before 8, and we never had a problem. We get asked a lot how we're able to fly as much as we do. And the truth is, a big part of it is our members. We currently do this without sponsors, and their monthly support helps offset some of the cost of flying, filming, and bringing these trips to you. So to every one of our members, thank you. But we didn't come all this way just to land at Renton. This time we wanted to do something we never got a chance to do on our first visit. Take Hannah out to the San Juan Islands and explore a few more of the incredible airports scattered around the Pacific Northwest, starting with Jefferson County Airport. So we'll see you next week. Until then, go fly, go discover.
Renton Tower, Aero 1939er Hotel, holding short 34 Alpha 7 for the channel transition.
Aero 1939 Hotel, Renton Tower, runway 34, clear for takeoff, east channel.
34, clear for takeoff, east channel, 39er Hotel.
Kodiak 2 Kilo Quebec on the water.
Kodiak 2 Kilo Quebec, roger. Sky 611, Renton ground runway 34, taxi via Alpha. Sky 611, yeah, correction, runway 34, taxi via Bravo. Kodiak 182, Kilo Quebec, Renton ground, taxi FAT via Alpha.
Renton Tower, Tango November 67680, Medina Shoreline 1.2 with Whiskey, looking for a low approach with a midfield base.
Tango 67680, Renton Tower, factory arrival runway 34, traffic over the East Channel Bridge northbound is Aero 2200.
Traffic's in sight, will make a factory arrival for 680.
Air 39 Hotel, traffic on the western shore of Bellevue is Orangebeer float plane. Going to make a factory arrival. They have you in sight. Free change proof.
Free change proof, and got that traffic inside 39 Hotel. Thank you.
Renton Tower, Cessna 2134 Yankee, 11 miles northeast with Whiskey, full stop.
Cessna 2134 Yankee, Renton Tower, factory arrival.
Factory arrival, 2134 Yankee. departure, Skywest 3779, 314 for 900,000, climb view.
Skywest 3779, Seattle departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 15,000.
Climb maintain 15,000, Skywest 3779.
Alaska 335, contact Seattle Center 128.3, good day. Skywest 3779, contact Seattle Center 128.3. Good morning.
28.3, Skywest 3779.
9000 Harrop.
Sky 4149, Seattle departure, radar contact, on the maintain 15,000.
Come maintain 15,000, Sky 4149.